Okay, this is gonna be a quick follow-up. I'm looking for some pictures about the Hong Kong war or protest, and it seems like the American media just released some articles about it. So let's go over the screencast, and I'm just gonna read some articles real quick, or one article, because it's gonna be quick. Okay, let's do CNN. Reason being, because that's like the only American news channel I watch with Don Lemon. Don't ask me why I like watching Don Lemon. I know, but still. Title: Hong Kong police officers shoot protesters with live rounds in early morning clashes. Which it just seemed like the police themselves are the ones doing the clashing. They're initiating the violence, the police, or the government war forces, as I like to call it. A 21-year-old protester was shot in the chest with a live round by a police officer in Hong Kong early Monday morning as traffic stalled and clashes broke out across the city. A traffic officer shot the a traffic officer, yeah, right. A officer shot the protester and fired two more live rounds in Shai Wan Ho on eastern Hong Kong Island, according to a police source. The police source did not provide any more detail about the shooting or why the officer fired his gun. Do you need a reason why? Why would they provide a reason to why they shooting unarmed people? You know, really? In a video clip of the incident shared online, the officer can be seen grappling with the protester. And I think J.K. Jonathan on Periscope just showed us that video. So if you're on Periscope, go check out Periscope, J.K. Jonathan. A second protester, dressed in black and wearing a face mask, approaches the scuffle, and the officer raises his gun. The second protester appears to try and wave or slap the gun away. We saw that, and the officer shoots him at close range in the chest. To screams from the surrounding crowd of protesters and passerby. Several more protesters then grapple with the officer, and two more live rounds are shot off camera. Okay, there go the dictator of China. So yeah, he is a dictator. The injured protester was taken to the hospital and is under assessment for a gunshot wound. A source said, a lot of these protesters they're shooting, or some of them are not going to the hospital. The forces are taking them and they're killing them and dumping them in the water, or just dumping them in the water because they already shot them. So they'll just dump them in the water. Police officers have since cornered off the area where the protester was shot. Protesters called for a general strike on Monday across the city. I don't know who called for that strike. We don't know who organized this whole thing going back to the summer. But I know real people are coming out here and they're getting effed up. And it had caused traffic disruptions at several locations throughout Monday morning. Police said demonstrators set barricades and blocked roads in Sha Tin, Tucson Kong, Otuan, Mong, and Hong districts. Several subway lines were experienced minor to severe delays, with some routes partially suspended due to an escalation of the situation in station, according to MTR subway operator. In a statement, police said they were continuing to clear the barricades and were dispersing the protesters. What do you mean dispersing by killing? That's what they mean. The police said they were continuing to clear the barricades and were killing the protesters. That's what they should be saying. Here goes one of the armed forces with their hands up, waving at the camera. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to say that name again. Shai Wan Ho, Hong Kong. Shai Wan Ho. Anti-government protest. Why do they call it anti-government protest? This is supposed to be pro-democracy protesters, which were first launched in June, like I said, the summer, in opposition to a now withdrawn extradition bill, have dragged on for 5 months. Demonstrations have steadily escalated in violence, with increasing public hostility towards the city government and police force. Well, the only hostility I see is the police shooting everybody. The protesters, what there was holding hands in a line around the city. They doing a sit-in at the train station, doing a sit-in. It's peaceful protests. Peaceful protests met by violent aggressors in the government. Tensions in the semi-autonomous Chinese, you may just say semi-sovereign Chinese cities, semi-sovereign Chinese city were further inflamed this weekend with raging protests fueled by the anger of the death of a 22-year-old student. And they ain't the first death, dog. Child Test Lok, a computer science student at Hong Kong's University of Science and Technology, died on Friday morning, days after falling and suffering a severe head injury in a parking garage close to the scene. They ain't talking about the other people that were shot and dumped in the water. So, child had been in a coma on life support until Friday. There was no indication that child was involved in the nearby protests. Protesters and fellow students mourned his death throughout the weekend, with a vigil Friday night and a memorial on Sunday. Students left flowers and messages on post-it notes on campus, and vigil attendees laid flowers and lit candles. His death. I'm pretty surprised they didn't shoot nobody at the vigil. His death also prompted an outpouring of anger from anti-government protests, or pro-democracy protesters, who claimed that police actions on the night of the accident resulted in paramedics being temporarily unable to access child. This anger spilled out during weekend protests, with protesters on the streets shouting for revenge. Police expressed profound sadness. How do you express profound sadness but you're shooting these people over his death, but have strenuously denied responsibility for his death? And of course, you're going to deny it and maintain that at no point did officers obstruct ambulance or fire service from assisting child. A police statement released on November 5th described the allegations as, of course, the police going to say it's false, and they're going to try to cover their own ass. Same thing they do in America when they shoot innocent citizen. They say that's a lie. They feel for their life, such and so. According to police, ambulance crews arrived on the scene November 4th, 19 minutes after the call. Hong Kong's ambulance pledged to arrive at the scene of the incident within 12 minutes of the call. Okay. So 12 and 19 is not too far apart, but it's still 6 minutes. So at least the Americans are covering the shooting. Even though I think they're trying to justify the shooting by the protester trying to grab a gun. I don't know. At least they're covering that protesters are being shot. Of course, weapons of mass control, tactics of mass resistance. Yeah. How do they even know who the policeman is? Because the police got their faces covered too. Yeah, they were shooting smoke grenades inside the mall in Hong Kong, which is not supposed to do, like Jonathan said. So anything that's illegal, they can do. Again, because they're with the government, and what's legal and illegal applies to some people. That's why I think silly Westerners are silly. They're very silly Westerners. Go to the next page. Of course, they denied it. Working week. Like, they don't care if it was a working week. Like, they want democracy. They don't care if you're going to work or not. And people not protesting, just the little sheep that keep going to work and they don't care. They don't care. The people who going to work back and forth. And it's an all-out war outside your door. Okay, you think I'm gonna go to work? Okay. Only thing life-threatening is them using guns because the protesters don't have weapons. So let's go back to August. Fresh campus footage released 4 weeks ago. New campus security camera clips released showing movements of Hong Kong girl later found dead in sea, but critics dismissed footage. Oh yeah, because there's a lot of people that have been found dead in sea that the police killed. Okay, clips from campus security camera showing the whereabouts of a 15-year-old girl whose body was later found in sea have been released by Hong Kong a day after angry students vandalized school facilities. A councilman spokesman on Tuesday denied it had edited or deleted any clips. A screen grab of the left footage shows Chan inside. The school reiterates that there is no need to hide anything, the spokesman said. Except that the parents and unrelated people in the clips cannot be shown for privacy protection. Well, that is altering. That is altering. And they're saying classes were canceled that week, or the school's handling of the girl who died. Her body was found September 22nd. I'll let you guys go read that, but I just want to do a quick update on this. Because she ain't the first student or person they found dead at sea.